So as we all know, boredom comes and goes very easily with playing this game, either casually or on a highly competitive footnote. Now, I've been playing this game back and forth and back and forth, and I'm finding myself hitting walls of boredom very quickly in playing this game because I don't know how I really feel about continuing to play the game further in a casual sense, in just in a laid-back approach, just playing it here or there, or if I strictly want to play it to just playing with groups or playing in a highly competitive format. Because as I'm noticing and being more involved in the Overwatch community thanks to my involvement with Dark Mount Gaming Incorporated on the PlayStation 4 and their Overwatch division, I'm noticing that there's a high level of competitive prowess and involvement that can come into playing this game or being associated with the game further than just trying to have a general illusionary connection of sorts with these characters in question. And this general area, I think, is where I'm likely going to traverse next, because although I've had plenty of options to play Overwatch more and more and more, and lose myself in the competitive nature that is Overwatch, both in the beautiful sense and in the highly needlessly cancerous sense, I'm actually finding a very nice balance right in between, down the middle. It's also for this very reason why I decided to not really become an Overwatch YouTuber. I'd rather stick to my cores, mainly just being the Transformers verse and the Destiny verse, and probably maybe another RPG that might take that core port. I don't know. I was originally considering between this and Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is another topic for another day. This, on the other hand, after delving further into the gameplay offered in Overwatch, there's a lot of underlining negativity that really doesn't need to be for a video game that doesn't have a heck of a lot of backstory to it, aside from the short stories that they want to conveniently keep pointing out for lore hunters. But there's nothing else that's really there in the game aside from repetitively doing this and that, and then maybe making a couple of nice mini-skits about good music qualms or musical numbers that people get together on, or little specifics that can be a really nice thing to do or a nice activity with friends. And again, that's mainly the whole idea or structural edifice of the gameplay, is just playing it with friends half the time. I had a previous panel that I introduced about what it is I'm going to do regarding possible or pending one-on-ones for Overwatch, and I am strongly deciding on taking that and probably taking the Overwatch mindset in playing Overwatch to strictly to a competitive outline. However, amidst keeping a whole structure of what I'm wanting from this investment of sorts, I'm also still not going to delve into being a YouTuber or doing a lot of YouTubing for Overwatch, because the majority of everything that you would want to do for this game is likely already being done, or if it hasn't already been done, by past YouTube channels that already highly immerse themselves amidst the Overwatch paradigm. And I've come across this before, so though I may be able to venture into a lot of very unique areas that would seem interesting to have on my channel for whatever it is I would do or seek to do in a live stream, or doing this half-ass share factory, whatever it is that you can do on PlayStation 4, it won't really be the same, because it would be compared very easily and very commonly to other YouTubers that specialize solely in Overwatch that have done the same thing or things in question that I'm doing, or would potentially do to a better extent, or have put it out there for the viewers in a better presentation. I have enough of that negativity already delving with me in Destiny, so I need not bring it to another potential pastime. Aside from exclusive interests. Me personally, when I'm asked if I'm going to do Overwatch YouTubing or if I have thought about it, I have thought about it, but I won't go ahead and do it because I don't see any specific beneficial gain to it. I will still make my videos from time to time. The one-on-one outline that I'm thinking of is also beneficial, so I might go ahead and do that. And those would honestly be the only videos I may make, pending an aftermath video to go over pros and cons about those segments, if that. But don't expect any overly dedicated series of events. In not only being new to playing Overwatch, I've also been recently accepted into the Dark Mount Gaming division for Overwatch, and so I play alongside a couple of my old friends from my FOC and WFC adventures, and a couple of newer faces here and there that also joined on board. The main focus that's going on here on Overwatch with the Dark Mount team that's gotten me into looking more competitively into the game in a different outline is the different ways that many of the characters are used in a different way of thinking on a more in-depth competitive outline for this video game. And so while there isn't much to delve into outside of competition, where there is competition, this game definitely seems to have a very strong sense of competition to it, which does, in some sense, drive me to wanting to play this more, but only on a competitive sense and not so much a casual sense, because I would only casually play this game with friends or with whoever it is that may be online that may be seeking to play a couple of games, rinse and repeat, barring the repetitive mindset that may come later on as added hours of gameplay will likely persist. And so, well, based off of that, you can kind of guess that my general playing level for this game should be pretty low. I mean, I can keep up with a lot of pretty good players, but at the same time, my overall profile, when you go to look at it, may not suggest that, but looks can be deceiving, as they always say. And so my level really won't be going up any extensive amount because I don't really see myself playing it that much unless something may change. I mean, don't get me wrong, things may change all the time, so if something may happen or happen to the past grids that I'm associated with, then yeah, I do have some type of saving grace or a cushion in which to fall upon of pastime interest, thus being this, so it is not completely ruled out. The times on when you're in a generally cooperative team-based game mode or game modes, I've noticed a lot of very nice strategies that come up in the general success of a team and how they would complete set objectives in either moving the payload or trying to get the most number of kills and all things to that extent. One thing I've noticed right away is that doing these objectives not only score more points when you're in a team, like an actual team that you load into the match with, as opposed to working with randoms, it's also a lot less of a headache when you're working with randoms, as opposed to working with randoms. Because not everybody, well, granted, everybody seems to have their mic on, it's whether or not they're actually saying anything, or saying anything actually relevant to what's going on to complete objectives. Because I can see a person could easily point out flaws of what other people are doing, but can you point out the flaw in what you're doing? That's the main thing, and while it's very easy to be cancerous in this game, I would strongly recommend, as I do take my own advice, to kind of pass a little bit of good positivity forward here and there as you can. So while you would probably be mean or wonder why people are messing up so commonly, rather try to help them along in what they're doing wrong and how they can help make it right, without so much telling them, hey, you're doing this all wrong, you get off the team, I'm gonna vote kick your ass out. It doesn't work like that. Just help them try to become better at what they're doing. That way they'll be more inclined to want to be talkative, maybe, or more open to doing different things, maybe. I mean, if everybody on the team does DPS and nobody's doing support or trying to play a scout or something in order to go ahead and get the main things going, then what the heck's the point in trying to be aggressive at key times when the key interval of time is not seized when it needs to be seized, because everybody wants to do DPS and nobody's trying to support DPS people. That's what keeps them alive, so they can keep pushing forward. And many times it's learn the hard way rather than the easy way. And when you learn it the hard way, it seems to be a lot more rewarding in future trials, in enjoying the game further without friends. With friends, I notice that all of this is a very, very elusive thing of the past, which I like very, very much. And so keeping that in mind with playing with friends and taking a look into a more suitable competitive nature in playing this game, I could probably find myself playing this game strictly for highly competitive reasons, rather than any customary or casually leisure fun time. I could just play it just for business, and I can play it for competitive one-on-one. So I guess in a sense that's my type of fun. My type of fun is just being in a one-on-one environment where I can enjoy fighting people all the time and have good competitive matches for various different reasons that can have end results of varying positive degrees. So keeping that in mind, I will definitely keep my nose into this Overwatch League and into a highly competitive mindset. Leave your thoughts and questions or concerns down below as to how you feel about my reasoning when it comes to thinking about Overwatch. You guys take care, and as always, till all are one, friends.